So today we're going to be changing the fuel filter on my 1997 Chevy Lumina. So that other fuel filter I was taking off was the old one, and here's the new one. It's pretty simple. You can't mistake it. Put it on backwards. You have the nut on the front, and then you have those little clips on the back. Okay, so first you have to find where your fuel filter's at, and here is, at least on this car, here is the gas cap. Go to the driver's side door, and it's located right between the driver's side front door and back door. And you can't miss it. The inlet is a plastic tube, and the outlet is a metal tube connected to the bolt. So here, let me shine some light on it for you. There's the front, and here's the back, and it's attached by, held on to the car body by a little hook right there. You don't have to take that hook off, you can slide it right out. So here's what we're going to be using. Get yourself some lighting, some WD-40 if you can't break it might be a little rusted. Get yourself a leak pan, 13/16 wrench and a 5/8, some pliers, and a new fuel filter. And that should do it. So this little nut right here threads into the fuel filter nut, and that's the one that's going to be moving. The fuel filter, you can move that as well, but it's easier to move the nut on the fuel line. Spray it with some WD-40, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then get your 13/16 wrench, and the smaller nut is a 5/8, and it's a real tight fit, but get it on there. So why would we change a fuel filter? Well, this fuel filter hasn't been, as far as I know, for the life of the vehicle, hasn't been changed, and this car is about 180,000 miles. So it will should improve gas mileage, should improve the flow of the gas up to the fuel injectors. It should also take some pressure off of the fuel pump to allow my fuel pump to last faster, or last longer. So you see there, I just squeezed the two wrenches together and popped the threads out, and then all you gotta do is just walk off the smaller nut off of the fuel filter. You see the gas is dripping down, that's why I got my gas catch pan. Pretty cold. You see, maybe just let it drain out a little bit. I'm gonna speed this up here a little for you. It was kind of difficult. At first I didn't jack my car up, but I would definitely recommend taking the extra 5 minutes and jacking your car up, because it's very difficult. You'll see the lighting here will change in a bit just because I jacked my car up and got some lighting under there. So just walk that bolt off. Should take about 5 minutes or so to get this guy off. The whole job shouldn't take anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. So you see the two little clips. You have this little groove between the top and bottom clip. So make sure the plastic part coming from the gas tank sets on that, but here you have to take it off. It can be kind of tricky. Keep working at it, and eventually it'll come off. Again, make sure you jack your car up. It's a lot easier to work with. So let the rest of the fuel drain out in your catch pan, and then you are ready to slide your fuel filter out. So just slide it out of this bracket, and you don't have to take this bracket off. Makes it easy. Slide it out and put your new one in. So just hand tighten that smaller bolt over there on the metal fuel line, and then attach your other fuel line coming from the fuel tank. And this can be pretty tricky. Your hands are probably greasy and slippery by now, but get some needle nose pliers and pinch it together. There's the first one, and then the second one. Make sure everything's lined up. You should hear a click, but if not, just make sure you pull it apart and make sure it's not coming off of the fuel filter. So then you're good to go on that side. This side, just get your 2 wrenches, and I think the fuel filter 13th by 16th wrenches, or the nut might be a little smaller, so, but it still worked. Tighten it up. You can see I didn't really have to tighten it up too much. Hand tightening pretty much did it, and I had no leaks here at the end. I'll start it up and I'll show you footage from underneath the vehicle of the sound of the fuel pump that you should hear. So make sure you prime it first. Do this 3 or 4 times. Did you hear that? That's the fuel pump kicking in when I turn the key. Here's the second time. So that's just the fuel filling up the fuel filter. And again, I'm going to do it a 3rd time. So just make sure you prime it 2, 3, 4 times and then start it up. You don't want air getting into your fuel injectors, definitely not. So once you start it up, maybe drive it around a little bit and make sure everything's good to go. Make sure there's not any leaks. Check your gas mileage, make sure you're getting the same gas mileage. You should be getting better. If you're getting worse, you might have some leaks. Check your gas gauge, make sure you it looks normal and everything. So here's what the old filter looks like, and here's all the junk that was coming out of it as I was taking it off. And I'm going to actually open this fuel filter up, and if you're interested in that video, you can check that video out here in the description or right here on the screen, and you'll get to see what a 180,000 mile fuel filter looks like. Alright, thanks for watching.